Cheers, everyone. Welcome to
Cheers.
PodVCon Spring Break. This is our third convention now, right, Tom?
That's correct.
Got a mouthful of that Mike's Hard Black Cherry.
That's Black Cherry, Mike's Hard slushy
Sweet.
for the spring break. We got to have something nice and cold.
Absolutely. Welcome, everybody. That video, we want to thank our mod Rosa for. She put that together for us, and that's just a little taste of where we're all going to travel around the world for spring break this weekend and next weekend. So I hope that you are excited, and I hope that you stick with us and travel around the globe with us.
And we also want to say thank you to John for doing the trailer and the PodVCon video as well. We know that was just a little spoof, but it was an excellent job on those two trailers.
Yes, they were awesome. So first things first, we're just going to get into introducing what the schedule is going to look like. It is up on the Facebook page, but you can find it pretty much anywhere around there. But I'm going to just reiterate what we're in store for weekend 1 and weekend 2. So tonight we have our live welcome currently. Then next up will be Pod Jerky featuring Tom. So you get twice the Tom already. That's exactly right. What the people want.
Starting off on the right foot.
Exactly. Then we have Thoughts Count Anywhere, Bald and Blonde, the San Francisco Experience, the FAM 305 podcast, and Next on Stage 1. That's all tonight. Then tomorrow we have Unpack the Facts, Spy Hard's podcast, Fresh to Death, The Midcard, Truth, Lies, and Puppy Mills, Eternal Paradigm. Then we have a sponsorships and affiliate marketing how-to panel. Then is Gen X Voice, followed by Gen X Perspective. And I believe the hosts on either of those shows are actually guesting on each other. So that'll be really interesting. From podcast to vodcast, we have at 4. Then we have Crazy Fitness Guy, The Simpsons Did It, True Crime Scavenger Hunt with me, the Randomness Podcast, The Ripple Podcast, Tangent Avenue, 6 Drinks In, and Do It on Purpose with Chantel. And then Sunday, we have Amor Con Buddha Dex On, the STS Guys, A Tilted World, the Northern Touch Show, so you'll get another dose of Tom, a promotion roundtable, also with Tom. So
Tune in, you're going to see a lot of me.
Everyone's getting exactly what they want. Paranoia Playhouse, the Mead Musings podcast, the Horrific Network, Snowman in the Morning, Be Hero Fights, and Best Film Ever to close out weekend 1. Then we get into weekend 2, which starts next Friday, March 19th, with Pond's Press at 6 o'clock. Then Strong Body, Strong Soul, Blackbird, and Advocacy podcast with me, Dad's World, the Sig and Knack Show, Tell Me a Story contest with Rosa, and Not Your Father's Movies. And then Saturday next week, March 20th, will be Dad Narok, Building a Connection panel, Anything Goes podcast, Friends with Benefits, All the Things, No Interruptions, the Scuttlebutt podcast, No Fucks podcast. Oh, mind you, this is not suitable for children. We'll just throw that out there now.
We'll give a little warning when you're done reading those.
Getting Techie With It panel, Fan in the Van, Memories of Us, Histories of, Experts Connect, Fully Loaded KC podcast, The Quality of Love, Azul Turquesa, When the Bow Breaks, and rounding out Saturday of next week is Rocky Horror Minute. And then our final day of the convention starts at 7 a.m. Eastern with Happy Hour News Team. Then Backo Tunes podcast. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I was trying to figure that one out. Carpool Shenanigans, CJ Honesty podcast, Best Film Trivia, Chase and Josh Factor Fantasy, Honest Fitness Talk, Marketing Bound, Zero Dark Nerdy, Out of the Box with Christine, Pop Culture Cosmos, Now Dig on This, Book Pub Podcast, and then the live closing. So you can see we have plenty of podcasts in store. We have a ton of panels for everybody to sit in on and watch and ask questions. And then we also have the breakout Zoom rooms. Those have been posted on the cover photo in the PodVcom group, and they are all via Zoom. So they are not done on StreamYard. They're done all on Zoom. All you need is the ID, and you can pop right in and network with other podcasters, or if you're a listener, you can pop in and talk to any of the podcasts who are part of that particular genre. So we have a lot in store.
Definitely. And before we keep going here, like you said before, we want to give a warning that there is going to be sensitive subject material. There will be foul language used during this convention. There will be possible smoking of some green stuff on these shows, which is totally legal here for us. So I know that's going to happen on one of our shows.
It is legal here in some places also.
Yeah. So we do want to give a bit of a viewer discretion. Don't let your kids watch this if you don't want them to see any of that, because this will happen. We do allow swearing. We do allow sensitive subject material to be discussed. If we think that it does go too far, the shows will be cut. There's not going to be any room for any bullying or any hate speech. We don't promote that or condone that at all.
Yes. So, Tom, we have our special guest here waiting to come in.
Awesome.
Do you want to give him a little introduction? All right, ready?
I do.
Here we go.
Go ahead. Let him in.
What's up, friends?
Welcome. And for anybody that doesn't know, we have, of course, the awesomest Matthew Moy.
Yes.
Hello, everybody.
Matthew Moy has actually been on my show before. You may know him from Two Broke Girls Who Played Han Lee. You may know him from Steven Universe. Fantastic guy. Had a great time with him on the show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me again. Tom, it looks like we both changed our setups. You know, when you interviewed me last time, I was because you know me, I'm an audio guy. I was so disappointed with my audio that I created this for you. I'm just kidding. This is my voiceover booth. But I want to be where you're at, vacationing in your room with, what are you drinking?
This is actually a Mike's Hard
it's a nice tea, right? Right. Yeah.
It's a Mike's Hard black cherry.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
Welcome, Matthew. So good to have you here. So good to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Sarah.
I am so excited that you're here. Tom always gets the greatest people to join us on these, so I'm thrilled to have you. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. I'm so happy to be here. This is super exciting.
So let me ask you a question. Do we have any spring break stories from yourself?
Are we on spring break right now?
We are on spring break.
I'll see you guys later. I'm going to Cancun. Hopefully not getting coronavirus. Are people still doing that? Are they still into that? You know, vacationing for cheap right now because nobody's vacationing?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Woo! You know, I think LA is reopening restaurants because you guys are all in Canada, right?
I am. Sarah's in New York.
I'm in New York.
Oh, okay. How's it in New York right now?
We are at well, the city now is opening 50% indoor, but where I live on Long Island, we are still only outdoor dining.
Okay. So LA is the same way. I think they're thinking about reopening, you know, maybe to, I don't know, 25-50% capacity at restaurants before St. Patrick's Day, so everybody can party on St. Patrick's Day, which I think is the worst idea. Super spreader event. You will not be lucky. But and then I think we're getting the vaccine. Biden just had this huge thing about the vaccine, huge speech about how everybody's going to get it. So I'm staying indoors forever. And we'll just do this.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with this.
Why not? Nothing wrong with this.
You got your.
I think we become
tea.
so accustomed to these virtual meetings and all of this. This is just part of life now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was browsing YouTube as you do, and I'm like, when did Conan O'Brien get a podcast? When did he start doing that? Everybody's got a thing now.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Yep. And this is actually, it's turned out to be really fun. This is actually our third convention that we've run. We ran one, I believe it was in the summer, if I'm correct. I believe.
August.
And then we ran a Christmas one as well, where you had a holiday one as well, where we ran a bunch of holiday activities and had a whole bunch of shows and it was holiday themed.
Fun.
Yeah. And then this one is the spring break one. So
we're
going to be announcing our next one. Yeah.
Yep.
I should change right now into a tank top and a lay. Like just gonna change right here because this is also my closet.
Perfect.
I'll be like Shaq. You can't see below my waist, and I'm actually wearing shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen him do that?
That's okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's okay. I've got my shirts on and the lay on here, and I'm still wearing track pants because it's still cold here in Canada.
I'm in pajama pants too, so no big deal.
Those things are always in season.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Sarah, what are you drinking?
I am drinking.
I invited to the party? Oh, I guess I was.
Tom, did you not inform our guest that it was spring break?
I did.
No, wait. This is what Tom said. I said, Tom, do I need to know anything specific? He's like, no, we're just going to shoot the shit. Just come.
That sounds right.
Do I need to prepare at all? No, just come.
I said, we're going to have a couple of drinks. There's going to be a couple of us with a couple of drinks. That's all. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were joking. Sorry.
It's all good, right? This is just a small drink. I can't actually drink. Not supposed to be drinking anyways, but
why?
That's going to be my half a drink. I some medical issues that I had a couple of years ago. So
well, I don't drink anymore. I haven't drunk for 3 years.
Really?
I just drink
and I was pretty much at that time
now.
too.
Yeah.
I don't even drink that. To be honest, I haven't had a coffee in 2.5 years now.
Oh, well, I have to have coffee or I wouldn't be like this. I'd be like,
yeah, definitely. So anybody, Sarah or Matthew, one of you, if you guys want to give us your wildest spring break story, because here in Canada, we don't get spring break. We get what's called March break. And the March break was supposed to be happening this week, but they delayed it now because of COVID and coronavirus or whatever. They've delayed it and they pushed it back to April. And our March break here is really cold. So it's not like we can just go outside and do things that you would normally do in an environment that is actually warm, but we could travel. But it's also peak season for us to travel at that time too. I don't know when your spring break exactly is. I don't know if it's this week as well.
Well, I'm an actor, so our spring break is all the time. Actor just means unemployed all the time, looking for work. And I've been out of school forever, but I graduated. Thank you, world. But my wildest... Wait, what do you guys do on spring break if it's cold then? Do you just go out and eat or...
So we don't actually really do anything because it's such a peak season to travel. It's so expensive. So I actually wait until the summer to travel. And during March break, we just relax.
What do you do, man? Just relaxing.
Yeah. It's just some time off of work.
Gosh, that's my whole lifestyle MO, relaxing. Spring break. So March, usually for actors, it's pilot season. That's what it's called. This year is sort of a wash. Last year, pilot season went and then ended. I'm not sure how many of those shows got picked up or got canceled, because of the Rona. Maybe some of them will come back. But I actually asked my agent about pilot season this year. He's like, yeah, not going to happen. At least I don't know anything. But my wildest spring break stories, one year, let's see, I think after season 6 of Two Broke Girls, this is Matt Moy Wild. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
After Two Broke Girls wrapped, I was like, see you guys, I'm going to perfume school. My father thought it was a terrible idea. But here's I love smelling good. Number one. I love showering, love smelling good, clean scents, right? That's just a little, FYI into my hygiene. But so I'm like, I don't like vacationing for the sake of vacationing. I like vacationing and doing stuff, or else I just feel like a lazy bum, right?
Same.
So I'm like, why don't I go to the south of France and go to perfume school? And I went. It was supposed to be for like 2 weeks. Learned a lot of stuff. Ate a lot of cool food. This was still when I drank, so I drank a lot of wine. Yeah, we all had wine during our lunches. It was the weirdest thing. And they're like, "Oh, it's a normal thing." I'm like, "Okay." And then I drank the wine, and I was like passed out in the first day. I was like, never doing that again. But actually, I had to jet after the first week because then I booked this Marvel show called New Warriors, which unfortunately got greenlit but never came into fruition. But that was one of my spring breaks. I have many stories about spring breaks, though. I don't know how tame or what you want to hear.
You can go as tame or not as you want.
Yes.
There are no restrictions at this convention.
Oh man, let's see. I have to think. Another year, Jonathan Kite and I went to Japan and Korea. That was really fun. We love doing stuff because as soon as you end a season, you're like, oh, free time, and we get off. We used to get off around the middle to the end of March, and we would just do all the things we wanted to do so we could, be prepared for work after. That was a fun trip. He's one of my best friends, so that was really fun. Yeah, there are some, dangerous stories, rated X dangerous stories, but I'm alive, so here I am.
Did you get to sit in those sauna tents with Max and Caroline? Wasn't that their spring break when they went to that apartment?
Oh gosh. That was such an early season. I don't know if that's like a real thing. It just looked like they were intense. No, I did not get to experience that. One funny episode though. Remember when who was it? Oleg had the sex doll in his closet. Everybody was poking at that doll. We were like, we all got to know what that feels like. I mean, not bringing it home, just poking it. And then I think a couple people are like, Matt, you going to bring that home? And I'm just like, no, that thing is like 300 pounds. It's all metal inside. Its mouth looks super dusty. I don't know where that's been.
Yeah.
Oh, here's another funny. Well, not funny, but funny. So I don't know if I had a stroke maybe 8-9 years ago. But I had like 90% weakness on the right side of my body. But here's the funny part of the story. So this was like early on in my stroke when I still couldn't move a lot. And Fred Savage was directing that episode, the sex doll episode, the Old Lake apartment episode with the glitzy lights.
Yeah.
So because of camera angles, I couldn't lift the doll with my left hand, which is my good hand, my good arm. And this is like a 250, 300 pound cybernetic sex doll with, all this silicone on it, all this stuff. I don't know how people carry that around. I'm lifting it up. He's like, oh, Matt, you can't use that hand because it's, in front of the camera. It's not, you got to use your right hand. I'm like, I can't move my right hand and can't lift anything. So what did I use to lift that doll? Nobody knows this story. I used the power of my crotch. It's literally on my crotch. Somehow it's lodged itself on it, so it looks like it's giving me a blowjob, and I'm just using all the pelvic muscles I have in the world to look good for camera. And probably doing this is on. If you can't see that face, podcast listeners, I made a weird face.
That's amazing. I love hearing behind the scenes stories that nobody knows happened.
Oh yeah. Sitcoms are like the Wild West because we move so fast, It's like boom, boom, bam. Does that work? Let's do it. I'd worked with Fred Savage before on another pilot, so I've known him for a while. And I gotta say, I love when he calls me Moy. It feels like I went to college with him. He goes, Moy, stop swaying. You're swaying. Moy, stop. Got it, Fred.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, like I said in our episode too, like we only normally see the finished product, so we don't know what's going on. We don't know the pranks that are being pulled. I know you said there weren't too many pranks pulled on the set of Two Broke Girls, but we don't get to see any of that. And you made an interesting comment that when the show ended, Oleg or Jonathan Kite got to take home the bell from the diner.
Right.
And you wanted to take home one of the benches, but they were only rented.
Look, I got the back of my director chair. I got
You
that
too, yeah.
little piece of cloth. Yeah, I wanted to take home one of the booths, but well, I guess they wouldn't have been a very good. It wouldn't have looked great in my house. What do we call that? Girls probably wouldn't have liked it. They would have been like, "Where's this ratty thing from?" But I would have been like, "It's special to my heart."
Yeah.
But no, that thing. They were like, "Yeah, sorry, Matt, that's rented. You can't have that." I was like, "I don't want anything then." It's like, what? Han didn't have anything. I did not want the sweaters he wore. That was probably also rented. Did not want those khaki pants. You know the fun.
How did you not want to take home the uniform that you had to wear when Caroline and Max became part owners of the show of the diner?
Oh, you mean when I wore the waitress uniform?
Yes.
No, that's funny. I think I only wore it for one scene, but that was like some special suit. You know, it's like the Batman costume. You can't take that home. I looked cute in that. I looked great. Where is that suit, world?
Yeah.
And it's funny. I've seen people on eBay try to sell like Caroline and Max suits, and they're like, "Oh, this is from the original set." And I just look at it. I'm like, "No, it's not. No, it's the real suits were made out of polyester. They were almost like this wool polyester material. They looked super itchy. I don't know how the girls did it.
Yeah.
They were supposed to look retro, right?
I have no idea. I've never seen anything like that in my life. Probably, I guess.
Well, you were the owner of the diner, weren't you?
I'm just an actor, Tom. I don't ask the smart questions. I'm like, where do you want me to be?
That's a question for costuming.
Oh, yeah. And Tracy, she was great. Yeah. Our costume designer.
That's fantastic. How many times have you worked with Fred Savage? I know you just mentioned that you worked with him a couple of times. Does that happen a lot in Hollywood, where you're kind of just running into the same people over and over, working on different projects?
Oh, yeah. If you stay in Hollywood, I know a lot of actors who either give up and, everybody to each his own, or, they do something else with their lives. So, a lot of people in LA kind of move on sometimes, but the actors who stay, we run in, and directors, and we all run into each other all the time. I used to run into Randall Park, and I did a pilot once, the one that Fred Savage directed. Okay, so the pilot was called Taxman. It was sort of a news radio in the IRS.
Oh, okay.
But that show never got picked up, probably because nobody ever wanted to watch a show about taxes.
That's interesting.
but we had Martin Short, Orlando Jones, Randall Park, Al Madrigal, Carrie Kenny from Reno 911, who's also in Two Broke, and I know I'm forgetting people. And David Krumholtz. Oh, I love David. Love Crummy.
And Carol played the sister, right, to Max's boyfriend? Was it Max's boyfriend?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I loved when Carrie came on because she brought like a new light and levity to the set. And, if we had been going on, she probably would have been brought on a lot. We had so many plans just as actors thinking, oh, maybe this could happen. Maybe this could happen. But, we all got canceled. We didn't know we were going to get canceled. It's the only thing we regret about the show was not being able to wrap it up because nobody knew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I was upset about that. I was actually a big fan of the show. I watched the show multiple times over and over again. I have all the seasons on DVD, and I've watched it multiple times, but it just, like you said, you didn't get to end it, and it just ended at a certain spot, and you were like, what's going to happen next? And then it just, it didn't continue. But do you see, I know we discussed this a little bit, but do you see there being an actual reunion of that show at all in the future where you guys might be able to kind of wrap things up?
I think everybody would be down to do it, but here's the thing. They're all so busy. I mean, Beth is on season 4 of her show, The Neighborhood. That's been going strong. Jonathan's with Jamie Foxx on his show. Kat's on her show Dollface. Garrett's doing everything in the world, and, Jen's doing everything. So there's just me. And then it's me going, hey, guys, don't forget about me. You know what I love is reading internet rumors that go, Matthew Moy's doing nothing. His career is ruined. And I'm like, no, I'm still here, guys. I'm fine.
But now during the COVID, you're doing a lot more voiceover, right?
Yeah. So I worked on this booth the whole last summer, prepping to do voiceover to record at home, because I was seeing a little bit of we were all seeing a little, the voiceover community was seeing just a little trickle of it, and now it's like everything's at home almost. I just did an ensemble session the other day, which is rare actually, and I was very proud of myself because I had one of the best setups when we were recording, because I was like, oh, that kid's recording in a closet. There's like 2 shirts.
But you know, the last time
5.
when you were on my show the last time and now on here, you know, sometimes you get some of these guests, and I had I don't know if you know who Ken Shamrock is.
Oh yeah,
but I had Ken Shamrock on the show, and in the background you could hear like the fan blowing. Like, you've been professional the entire time like that. You've been on my show and on this show as well. Your sound always comes off amazing, and like, you have other guests that don't realize that, and it's hard to hear, or to hear them talking and then edit it back after. Your episode was a breeze.
Oh, well, you know, it's hard. If you have kids, you can't tell them to shut up, or maybe you can. I told my cat to shut up. I was like, shut up, please. Shut up for half an hour.
Yeah.
And I'll feed you all you want.
Yeah. My husband and I have that issue when we're recording with our dogs. It's just constant mayhem, and we can't lock them in another room because then they'll just scratch on the door.
Yeah, that's what they start to miss you.
Yes.
And then you feel bad.
You do.
And then you're like, why am I feeling guilty?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. It's frustrating, but you find a way.
Yeah, you dug that up your own grave when you got pets. That's what happened.
That's true.
And that's why I do it in the basement. Otherwise, we have a golden retriever puppy, and she's about 1.5 years old. She's all over you. As soon as you go on the phone, or as soon as you go onto the computer, she is on your lap and in your face. She could be laying in a dead sleep, and until you start something, she's right on top of you. So,
well, Tom,
doing this would be crazy.
You got a golden retriever. Come on.
Yeah.
You wanted that dog to do that. You wanted that dog to love you.
Yeah.
This is what happens when I get my pets. I'm like, please love me. Please love me. Oh. They go, They don't even look at me.
You said you have a cat. Do you have other animals as well?
Yeah, so I have a chinchilla. And she's 15 years old now. And I just bought her a new cage, and with a new wheel, you know, a spinning wheel. So a chinchilla, I don't know if you know what a chinchilla looks like, but they sell a lot of their fur jackets in, I don't know why I'm still doing this. It's fun. They sell a lot of fur jackets of them in Alaska. So if you've ever pet one of those fur jackets or the earmuffs, those are made out of chinchilla fur. A lot of chinchillas made those, but my chinchilla is still alive. She's not going to be an earmuff, but they look like a cross between a rabbit, a squirrel, and a hamster. I think officially they're a rodent, but mine's 15. My last one died at 13. So, but this one, I got a new cage and a new spinning exercise wheel, super silent spinner, because they're super loud if you don't get one of those. And she didn't like it. I'm like, why don't you like this? It's like $400 for you. And I realized it's because she's 15 years old. And I stuck her in a new house. It was like an old person's home. I was like, of course you hate this. So I just sold it the other day. And the guy who picked it up, really nice guy, but he's like, yeah, I don't know if I should get a rabbit or a chinchilla. And I was like, if you get a chinchilla, be prepared. You're going to live with that thing for like 15 years. Yeah. Don't get a parrot. That's like 80 years, man.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I got the chinchilla when I was in college to help pick up girls. Didn't pick up girls, still stuck with the chinchilla. I love her to death, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure if a chinchilla would have worked on me.
So funny you said that, sir. I asked my neighbor, I was like, you know, what if your husband, when you met him, because they met in college, I was like, what if he had a chinchilla? And it's funny, girls make the scrunchy face. You have to like look at it like really close, but they just kind of go,
Yeah.
Just a little scrunch of the nose. Yeah. And that's like death.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And then I wound up having 2 chinchillas. Oh man. And we just ran after each other.
If you had a golden retriever, there you go.
Well, yeah, I'd be in the tank top with the lay around me. Getting laid all the time.
Golden retriever would work.
Oh man, pets. So yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask, how difficult was it to do the ensemble voiceover now that you have to do it virtually? Was that a strange experience?
It was strange. It was my first time, but it was really fun. Because I'm sort of an audio gear nerd, I like to hear everybody's setup and everything they have. What was interesting, I don't know. It looks like you have the Samson Q2U, right, Tom?
I do.
Look at that. You may not be able to see this face, but I can see you. I see you, Tom. I almost got that mic. A lot of people, at least for this studio, was using the Apogee Hype mic, which is another USB mic. But I was like, that's so interesting. Our voiceover studio is farming out this one mic for people to do voiceover at home because it's a USB mic. It's not like you don't plug it in like that. That's an XLR mic. And I was just like, oh, this is so fascinating. But yeah, some people, the most important thing that not everybody had was an Ethernet connection. Some people were still on Wi-Fi. And when you do a streaming thing like this, if you have crappy Wi-Fi, even though your audio is coming through, maybe to the engineer, the casting or whoever's directing isn't hearing you. So, I mean, like, we all have a fantastic connect. We're all amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my nerding out about audio ensemble stuff. It was really fun.
That's great, though, because I'm always curious about that kind of thing, because I know at least with so I've had to change my camera a few times because when I use my laptop camera on StreamYard with a bunch of people, you can see I'm even slow right now. I just cut out completely. So I'm always curious how people, with the bandwidth and everything, how people are actually, especially when it comes to a professional setup, in the sense that you had to do a professional project. It just always intrigues me to know how everybody's able to actually get that to come across and not sound terrible.
And not everybody is, but they're still hired. They're still hired to do the job. I think a lot of people are still figuring it out. And, that ensemble I worked with, some of them were kids. So, of course, kids aren't going to know or have the money for all this stuff. But, I mean, you can always just tell who has the nicer setup and who doesn't. It just makes life easier. But the engineer was so nice. He worked with all of us. So they work with you through it. And, I've talked to some like huge animation kings and they're like, oh, yeah, I'm just waiting for them to send me a $3,000 microphone. I'm not going to go buy it, So, they provide this stuff if you don't have it. Here's a funny story. So Amazon just came out with Commons podcast, the Power podcast. No, not Amazon, Audible, which is owned by Amazon. And all the promo pictures are of him pointing the hype mic like this. But you don't talk to the front of the hype mic like this. You talk to it. You talk from the front, right? So, and because I'm a little shit, I DM. Sorry to swear, audience. I DM him, and I go, "Yo, man, love your music. Your mic's facing the wrong way in all your promo shots." He never DM'd me back. I wonder if he's ever going to read that. He's got like this cool shot of him in the living room with the mic pointing like this with his dog. And I'm just like, dude, that's why your audio is so low, because nobody can hear you. I was like, and I tried to be constructive. I was like, this podcast would be more powerful if you pointed your mic the right way. But, people think podcasts got to point the mic like this,
But it's true. I mean, with all the technology, it's funny because even before we were just about to come on, it was maybe 5 minutes before my camera cut out and I had to reset the whole camera. I'm like, of course, that's just Murphy's Law. It happens 5 minutes before we're set to go live. And I've never had a problem with my camera. And the other day, my microphone was acting up too, where I had to reset the mic. It was giving feedback and, but you learn all these tricks as you're going along in whatever job you're doing, whether it's podcasting or acting or voiceovers or whatever you're doing, how to talk to the mic, how far away to be from the mic. Like we tested out like different, levels coming back and then coming forward, and what was the best sound, and were you muffled, and so it's just interesting to learn all the technical parts of it.
And I love that everybody's doing this now, and everybody's like getting nicer and nicer setups, so we can just do this more and not go outside, because who really wants to go outside, you know?
Well,
not in the winter, I don't.
Oh no. I mean, I want to go outside, but like in the backyard, just like when it's nice out. But my husband and I actually went out the other day to, I think we went grocery shopping. And I hadn't driven in a while because I don't go out. I'm an online school student. So like I stay home and my husband goes to work. So he drives the car every day, and he was like, "Oh, you want to drive the car? You haven't driven in a while." And I was so excited. And then I got in the car and I started driving. And I got very, very angry at being out. So I decided I'm just not going out anymore.
Were you angry at the other drivers, or because you were forced to go out?
Yeah, well, I want to be outside, but I don't want to be with other people. If that makes sense.
You were mad at having to rejoin the world.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I get you.
Pretty much.
I just don't like going outside because of my allergies. I was in a singing lesson the other day, and my teacher was like, "How was your day?" I was like, "Oh, I went outside. It was a terrible idea." Because my nose was just running, because it's the season now. It's not corona. It's just allergies, terrible allergies.
But you have nice weather there all the time, right? I mean, you have decent temperatures there all the time.
Oh, yeah. We have if it's raining in LA, it's raining all over the world then, because LA is always sunny. So if it's raining here, I won't buy things off the internet if it's raining here, because if it's coming from across the states, I know it's raining. I'm like, that's going to get wet. Not going to buy that, you know? Yep, sunny LA. A lot of I think maybe not a reliable source, but an Uber driver told me once that a lot of homeless people move from the East Coast to the West Coast. They literally save up their money to buy a Greyhound ticket so they can live in the sunny weather in LA. And none of you can see this because you're not in LA, but under the overpasses, they've set up furniture and shop, and they're just living there because they're in the shade.
Wow.
Real wild.
Wow.
We've had a couple of those in Toronto. I think they're tent cities. They would set up tents underneath the overpasses and stuff. And but I mean, come winter time, there's no way. It's minus 25, minus 30 here.
Yeah, so LA winters are just kind of rainy and foggy, and that's it. So it's still doable, But it's interesting because it went from just maybe tents to now there's an IKEA shelf, and now there's a futon, and now there's a lamp. I'm like, oh, I would move in too if there wasn't bed bugs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And where are they plugging in these lamps?
It's just ambiance, Tom. You don't ask questions.
They just want the look, right? They just want the look. Oh, that's great.
So what are these conventions? So explain this to me.
So we just run different shows. So we have the shows going from tonight. I'm actually on at 7:00 right after this one. So everyone has a 45-minute slot. They all do their shows, whether they have guests on or whether they have just their own shows promoting themselves.
Oh, that's so cool.
And then we have panels. So we do discussion panels. So we'll talk about marketing for your podcast. We do this one. We're having a true crime scavenger hunt that Sarah's going to be hosting.
What?
I'll be hosting. Yeah, I'll be hosting.
Do you want to join it, Matt?
What
if you want to join, you can join.
It makes me a little anxious. What is it?
It's just a scavenger hunt around your home, but it's all true crime items.
Like who I murdered someone with?
Yes.
What I would murder people with?
Yes, pretty much.
So it's really funny. I have a door club on my front door, but I have it also because if anybody tries to mess with me, it's kind of like a bat. I'll just take it and club them with it.
Yeah.
But I haven't done that. I don't have any murder items at home.
Oh, you have murder items at home, don't? Yeah. Everybody does.
What's that?
We have some wire here.
Oh, that's wire. I thought it was like some sort of weird ring collar.
So it'll probably be different things like that, where she'll give you hints, and then you just got to find certain objects around the house that you would be running around, and then the winner gets a prize.
The winner gets a prize, yeah.
A call from the police, and then they knock on your door, and they see your coffee table, and they're like, "What are you planning to do tonight?"
I'm not really gonna. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but we have different kind of panels we're talking about. There's a tech panel as well that we're going to be talking about equipment that they use for podcasting, and then there's another panel where we do promotions.
I get very excited by that.
Yeah.
And then we have another special guest joining us on our closing as well. Our closing to the convention as well. So
yeah.
Who are they? Who are they? Who are you cheating on me with?
Well, see, we got you on the opening. We got you on the opener. So that is you were first and foremost here.
Look, Tom won't tell me.
I hope our special guest from the closing isn't watching now.
No, no. We had actually we can't give away our closing
secret. No, it's all right.
No. We can actually give it away because he's actually been a guest on our show before.
Yes,
so Adam Bush is actually coming back on.
He's amazing.
Show to do the closing. Yeah. He's really cool.
Yeah. He was on our opener last convention.
Oh, that's awesome. Very cool.
So we wanted to ask him back to come for the closing. When Tom interviewed you for his podcast, though, you were like, he messaged me and he was just like, yeah, we have to, he's going to be our opener. Like, we need him.
I was so excited. When you responded back to me, I actually messaged Sarah and I was like, Matthew Moy responded to me. I was like, he's coming on the show. I was so excited.
Oh yeah, it was one of those rare days I check my DMs that aren't like hairy butts, and I'm like, oh, this isn't a hairy butt. This is a Canadian. I like Canadians.
What kinds of DMs do you get?
Actually, interestingly, which is really cute, I get a lot of DMs from people who watch Steven Universe, which I love.
Oh.
They send me fan arts. They're like, teenagers or maybe just early 20s, and they're like, oh, this is my favorite show, it really changed my life, spoke to me so much. Those are cool, but a lot of them are from gay guys. Some guys send me pictures of hairy butts. Let's see, what other weird ones have I gotten? Some people like try to make fun of me over the internet. A lot of people, when they watch Two Broke Girls, they think it's okay to make fun of me, the person, but they try to do it in a joking way, and I just read the messages. I'm like, oh, that wasn't written well. You could do better. You can do better. That's all I think. But that's basically it. Just kids who love cartoons and hairy butts. Yep.
Yeah.
We just had a comment that we popped up on the screen.
I'm gonna put it up again.
And Sarah and Matthew both actually got to try these. Because you don't have them in the States, and they have ketchup chips. So tell us what you guys thought of those.
Wait, Sarah, you go first.
Oh, okay. So I'm obsessed with ketchup. I'm not one of those people that like eats it out of the bottle, though. That kind of freaks me out. But
who does that?
Yeah, I know a lot of people who do.
Like that?
Yeah. It makes me so uncomfortable. But I love ketchup. It is one of my favorite condiments.
Wait, so we need to talk about your friends. Who are these people squirting ketchup into their faces?
Okay, I'm not gonna.
Call them out. Call them out on it.
No. So growing up, my best friend came from a 100% Irish family. I am very majority Italian. So I grew up eating, like pasta with red sauce. And my best friend ate pasta with ketchup on it.
Okay, that makes sense.
So their household, whenever we would go over and have pasta, like Sunday dinner, it was always just bottles of ketchup. So it was a weird.
But they're not squirting it in their mouths, right?
They did occasionally.
Well, let me make the girl face. Just
yeah.
It's
uncomfortable. Nobody should do that.
But what did you think of the chips?
When I heard about these ketchup chips, I was very intrigued, and I told Tom he needs to send me them because I'm obsessed with ketchup, and I wasn't sure like what it was going to taste like. I thought it was just going to kind of be like a potato chip that kind of had a little like tomato flavor. And then I ate it and it was ketchup.
Right. So when I ate it, I was like, oh, these are interesting. These are kind of like, whoop, this is like ketchup, right?
Yes.
And then you eat like maybe 5 to 7 more fistfuls and you're like, am I feeling sick? Is this because I'm eating too many chips? Or is it the ketchup makes you a little sick? I'm not going to lie. It's like you've had a really bad night out and it's the next morning, or it's the cab ride home, or not the Uber ride home, and you're just pounding these chips and you're just like, oh, I smell so awful, but these are so good. Maybe that's because I got 2 bags and I ate too many, but
well, they have ketchup Doritos as well.
Yes.
And those are actually really, really good. They were a limited time here, but those are excellent as well. And they're like super flavor, and they're kind of they have more of a kick to them than the chips do.
But do you feel like a hoe when you eat them? That's how I felt. I was like, these are Hoe Chips, right? When you just want to have a hoe night out and you come back and you're wasted and you're just eating them and your fingers, all these nasty Cheeto-y red color, and you smell sour and vinegary like you've spoiled a little bit, and you have the yummy onion, but you're like, hey, how you doing? And the other person's like, get away from me. I love the chips though, by the way.
But they're so good. Good.
They're amazing. They really are.
Do you know what people call the end of a loaf of bread? Do you know? Well, you can call it what? The butt or the end?
Yeah.
This is my favorite. Or the hoe. Because everybody touches it, but nobody wants it.
No.
I just saw that on YouTube the other day. I thought it was the funniest thing.
Oh.
Look, Sarah's sad. Sarah's sad for that piece of bread.
Because my podcast is actually advocating for people who have been victims of sex crimes. So
oh no, yeah,
it's a little.
This is just the piece of bread.
Yes.
This is just a bread, yeah.
It's just bread.
And I'm still gonna eat it. I'm still making toast out of that bread. I don't leave any bread behind.
Yes, we use it for French toast for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah. All the bread that you don't want, you make French toast out of, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Or like if you have like challah bread and it's like a day old, and just douse and stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we could just eat here next time. Yeah.
All right. So I think we have to kind of wrap it up here because the next show goes on in 10 minutes, which is going to be my show.
Okay, he's kicking me out. All right.
Oh, I'm not kicking you out. I don't want to kick you out. I want to have you back on my show again because it's always a great time with you. I mean, you're an amazing guest. You're amazing to talk to. You're so fun because it's just free-flowing conversation, and you're always like just jump right into it. So it's always amazing to have you on, and whenever you want to come back on, more than welcome to.
Good to see you, bud. Nice meeting you, Sarah.
You too. Thank you so
much.
Hope
we entertained you guys. Of course, anytime. I'll see you guys later. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Matthew, for coming on. I'm sure everybody enjoyed this very much. And I'll keep in touch with you for sure, definitely. And we'll get another show going.
All right. Let's do it.
Awesome.
I'm in.
Awesome.
Thanks.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Matthew.
Amazing.
All right. Yeah. He's awesome. He's amazing. He's always fun to have on and talk to. And it's funny because like I said, when I messaged you guys and said like, hey, Matthew Moy's coming on the show, and it was just it was fantastic. And some of these guys that you reach out to, you don't think that you're going to develop kind of a not a friendship per se, but you still have a speaking relationship with them.
Yeah, a good working relationship with them. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just interesting because you get to hear some stories that people don't hear. Yeah. You get to actually communicate with them, and it's not like all I did was message him to say, hey, come on the show, and if you can't, well, bye, see you later. I still communicate with him once in a while and just say, hey, how's it going? How's your day going? Yeah. And that's just pretty cool to be able to do that.
Like a great guy. So
yeah,
thank you for getting him on for the opener.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, so I think we're gonna cut this because I have to go and refill my drink because I will be on in about 8 minutes.
Yes.
And I will be on at 7 o'clock, and I will be joined by my lovely wife, Amy. We will both be on in less than 10 minutes. So we will see you guys then.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody. Don't forget.